Peace, love, and light, brother Blue. Report live and direct to you. I got my brother 19 Keys with
Blessings,
me.
family.
All right, and we are back on the land. You understand? Contrary to popular belief, we are in Atlanta, Georgia. And this is the particular state where they have eased up on restrictions. Some people say that this is the satellite state for what opening up, quote unquote, restrictions will look like for the rest of the country, right? But they have mandated in this particular state that you got to wear face masks everywhere that you go. So everywhere that you go around the city, you see people masked up and covered up.
Right.
But the second that they seem to take their mask off, they run into Krispy Kreme.
Right.
They run into McDonald's. They run into Church's Chicken. They run into everywhere that would put them seemingly in the same detriment that they're running for by putting on the mask to avoid what is being called an invisible enemy, but they're running straight to the the purveyor of visible attacks on the particular demographic of people who they say are most susceptible to this particular invisible agent or invisible energy because they have pre-existing conditions. Those pre-existing conditions come from their pre-existing lifestyle. So here we are in a reset and people are still going back to the old ways, of which have already put them in detriment that makes them susceptible in the present to no longer be here in the future, right? So it's like, you know, it leaves people with a scratching head moment. At the same time, there's a food situation going on with food shortages and shortages of meat and what have you. No one ever stops to ask where's this meat coming into these fast food restaurants that have lines down a block for 3 or 4 blocks, but that's neither here nor there. We just want to make sure that we bring the message to the people who still want to prioritize health in their lives, because if you have not noticed, they have criminalized diseases. You understand? So if they have trace protocol going on and people are coming to your home to find out whether you're sick or not, they're not specifying just to say, oh, you got coronavirus or COVID-19. Shit, if you got a cough, if you got a sniffle, if you have anything that might be indicative of you not being in perfect grandstanding health, you can be hauled off, and Lord knows, you know, what that situation might lead to.
Factory.
So you would think that people with this little sliver of time that they have and a little window of time that they have, that they would say, I want to prioritize my health specifically during this summer, because they say if this is a seasonal situation and it comes back in fall time, I want to make sure I do every single thing to avoid a hospital visit, right? Because that's the last place that you might want to be, right? So, you know, they said that there's no need to go into a pharmacy when you could come to a farm.
Tap in.
You understand?
You know, there's no mandate on health right now, but there is punishment for being unhealthy right now. So they don't care if you put the harm in your body. They don't care if you eat the disease, but you will be punished for it. So that means that they won't stop the companies that benefit from it. They won't tell you anything about boosting up your immune system. They won't check on these families to see if they're eating healthy foods. No, they're not going to recommend a how to eat to live. They're not going to give you anything that deals with a way to where you can increase the nutrition that's within your body. They're not going to teach you about increasing the minerals within your body. You have to know that there's 118 minerals, and there's really 119, because that 19 is the mind. You understand me? Regardless of what you put in your body, if your mind is not working, it can activate the things that's happening. Right now, a lot of people are putting in thoughts about protecting their body, but what they're doing is they're missing out on 118 minerals that they're supposed to be putting within their body. You understand me? So as you try to harm yourself, you need to learn how to farm for yourself. You know what I'm talking about? And this is one of the things that's been lost when the family roles and structures have been destroyed. I mean, they tell women it's not your role to know how to cook. It's not your role to know what things to feed your family in order to heal your family. But we know when we go back into the history of black families, the dinner table or somebody got sick, grandma always had a remedy.
Right.
You
She came
understand
back
me?
into the backyard, into the bush, and she got the remedy, right? So she was not only the nurturer of the family, she also was the caretaker of traditionalism, right? She carried on the secrets of the bloodline. You know, she carried on the tradition of the family. You dig what I'm saying? But if you have removed her from that particular position and you have sent, you know, the family to now be in line at Krispy Kreme and Church's Chicken, where does that advocate, like, where does the family bonding take place in a situation like that? And where does anybody have an opportunity to play their role? You know
Family eating times just especially important in the first place. But it's not enough to where y'all come together talking about business and things of that nature, but you're feeding each other death. You understand me? You're talking about the future of the family while you're shortening the lifespan of the family. So that really doesn't make sense. So out here in nature, let's look at some of these things you got over here. Now I had a quick joke that I talked to my brother. You see his mitt right here. I said, how you get our farmer get the best mitt? I said, you got to experiment. That's a dad joke. You'll talk about, because I'm pops out here to a lot of these trolls. But come check this out one time. That's that good stuff. Nah, this ain't no weed. You'll talk about. But also, what he got over here is because right now a lot of people are changing some of their hobbies up. Everybody is doing these small little farming plots. You understand me? Inside their front yard or their backyard. So a lot of people are becoming a lot more conscious that this is a necessity during this time. The ability for us to be able to take all of the things that they made us dependent on, and we become an independent factor, and also the ability to be able to provide for others and create a business within that at the same time provides a massive opportunity for Black America to start to gain wealth and just providing the resources for each other. We know that everybody on the entire planet Earth will always have to eat. You understand me? And this second wave of consciousness right now, from the, I would say, from 9/11, 19 years later, here we are at another pandemic. This is going to make a lot of people a lot more health conscious, not only just health conscious in the sense of people talk about eating vegan, but that was more of a cultural thing. A lot of people didn't have anything to do with health. People do it for the planets, or people do it for the animals. But there's a very small subset of people that actually do it for their own body, their own cells. So now it's more important than ever, because you're talking about regulating your health to even have the ability. Donald Trump said that if a person has a pre-existing condition, they may not be able to go to their workplace, such as working in a school. Right. You understand me? So now it's becoming a requirement that you actually boost your immune system up, is that you don't have these pre-existing conditions, which means you have to be proactive in your diet. So here, got some, what that oregano oil over here? Yeah. Anti-cancer, you know what I'm talking about? Antiviral, you know what I'm talking about? Anti-inflammatory, like all the soul food that we eat. You know what I'm talking about? You got to come and get you some of this oregano oil, man. Nature provides everything to nurture our nature. I mean, this is where we tap in. Fast food gets you a fast death. And what you have to understand, Blue, I seen something important that they said. They said that this COVID-19, if it persists throughout time, has basically shortened the lifespan. Because if 65-year-olds and up are getting it, then that means that they're going to be dying at that particular point in time once they get this deadly so-called flu or virus. Right. So that's where that population control comes in.
If this is a death sentence on the elderly, then they have effectively shortened the lifespan, which is now accelerated, you know, what it is that you have come to this planet to do. What you had 80 years to do now, you got to complete it in 50-something to 60 years, right? That's your official retirement age. You dig what I'm saying? So you want to put an extension on your life. You know what I'm saying? You want to extend that mycelium,
that myelin.
The myelin sheaths, myelinate the melanated bodies again, right? So we can extend the telomeres and we can be here a little while longer to get a little bit more done for our families. You know, like what the brother has also said, the overemphasis goes to the part where, you know, you might put some things in your backyard to make sure that you can feed yourself. You dig what I'm saying? But if you got a little bit more land, you could get a little bit more expansive and now turn that into a family business where you provide your entire communities with the onions or the tomatoes.
Or at least your family. Right?
Yeah, your direct family. So we have to get back to family farming. As soon as the melanated man gets back to producing and production, then he will switch roles from just being a consumer class to now being a producer class on this planet, and he'll see his role in society change as well.
Listen, today marks a beautiful day, Malcolm X's birthday. You understand me? He would have been 95 years old, which means that we're now the generation that can't utilize him as an excuse, because he would have been at that age where he couldn't do for you anyway. You must do for yourself and continue, you understand me, the things that were started by the legacy that he began. The way you honor an ancestor is to continue to do the work that they stood for while they was alive. Not to put up just posts and memes and captions and maintain some sort of cool presence and say, look, I'm a little conscious because I can quote Malcolm X, or I've read an autobiography, or I've Googled a couple of quotes. That's not enough. If you don't stand for what that person believed in and the intellect that they sprouted while they was here, then you're not evolving the mindset that they left behind.
Right.
There's two mindsets to evolve in this world, the mind of the devil and the mind of God. And the mind of God comes from those that advance us as a people. The mind of the devil advances them as a people. So it's your goal to be able to tap in to some of that energy, but go further than those who were left behind. So I appreciate the family. I appreciate y'all tapping in. Get together with family. Everybody doesn't know how to do it, but each one teach one. When my mother, when my father and my mother got together, you always tell the story. My mom didn't know how to cook eggs. You know what I'm talking about? So it's also the onus is on the men as well to be able to teach that, which the feminine energy may not know. But the feminine energy role is to be able to nurture the family through that position of being that pharmacy, F-A-R-M, you understand me? And to be able to heal the family and to be able to directly control the immunity, the lineage, the future, the health. You understand me?
The genome.
The genome of the family.
Right.
So, peace, family.
Melanin is a word that was used to describe a certain biological function. But that particular identification or category or thing, melanin, is a European identification of what they think activates those neurons in our body that makes us black. But when you break down our body, our biological structure, into what we would have to put it in, which is chemistry, biochemistry, melanin has no place.